In one of my former videos, I said that the women's Euros they have two things in every game. Either it's a high scoring game or there's a banger. Now, this game had both. 5 goals is a very high score. I mean, let's not lie to ourselves. And there were bangers. At least I watched from the second half very well and I counted two bangers. Now Poland and Denmark, none of them had won a game in the competition up to this period. And what even made it a bit more interesting was that Poland had not gotten a win ever in the Women's Euros, and I think this is their third qualification or so. So they hadn't gotten a win ever, they hadn't scored any goal in the competition. And they almost slipped away from them. If you look at the graphic, you'll see that they almost lost the game. Now, Padilla had a goal in the 13th minute. It was like a cross from the side. It was very interesting. And it was a cross, then I think Pajol laid it back. Then Padilla just like swiped it in, like the keeper was nowhere to be found. Then Ewa Pajol, Barca fans will know her. She had a goal again. Like the goal that she had was very interesting. Cross to the side, she has had a couple of headers. Then she just headed it in space. Now I want to show you her stats for Barcelona. This is Ewa Pajol's stats for 2024-2025 season. 11 matches in the Champions League and she had 7 goals. Can you think about that goal to game ratio? And in 28 games, she had 25 goals. That's a top striker there. That's a top striker there. Now back to this game. Denmark kind of they weren't out. They refused to give up. And they got another goal. They got to go through Thompson. Thompson had a banger. Well, it was a holler from the keeper because it was a very powerful shot, but it was in the center of the goal. Now the keeper had made very good saves. Keeper for Poland had been making very good saves, but this one she just failed to make the ball slip through through her hands. I think she wanted to jump and catch it, but as she jumped, the ball struck her hand, like the space in between her fingers, and the ball just passed through. Then not fingers, but you get my point. If you're holding a ball, that space, that's where the ball went through. And Denmark now, like they were on the front, they were now like on the front foot. They knew they could score, they knew they could like draw, and they had another goal. They had another goal, but it was disallowed. And that goal was a very beautiful piece of play. It was a very beautiful piece of play, actually. The player, it was a true pass. She caught like two people around like that, and she scored, but it was offside. But Denmark still kept on playing. Eventually, Poland got the third goal. Now, the third goal, that was a banger. It was a banger. For the third goal, it was a cross into the box again. Poland were having a lot of crosses. The commentator was like, they weren't playing like this in their first two games, but they were better in this their final game. So they had a cross into the box again. The striker miscued the shot and he set it up for the person that was in front of her. It was similar to their first goal. And when the player that's Winkowska, the way she hit the ball, hit the bar like it was like top corner from like front of goal. It was like almost top corner. She hit the bar, then the ball and entered the goal. Now the last goal of this game, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was straight out like it was like straight out of pace. You know when you're playing pace and you have hacked cross and nod, kind of that's my kind of game. They hacked it. Very sublime cross from like deep, flinged it, and Braun was just there to hit it on target. Now, it could have been 3-3 actually. It could have just been 3-3, but Poland managed to secure like their first. They've scored. They not just secured their first win of the women's Euros ever in their history. They also scored 3 goals in their first win. That's like they have not scored before. They hadn't had a win, and they had a win and they scored 3 goals. It's kind of a tournament that they can look back on and probably build towards the Women's World Cup. And I know that their qualifications will start probably towards the end of the year. So it was a good result. It's sad that they're out of the competition, but it is what it is. Now we follow these Women Euros, follow this account because I'm giving you back-to-back updates. We're getting to the quarterfinals now. It's more action. We're seeing teams like Spain, Germany, go head to head. So stay with this account and we got you covered.